Hi, this is Mark from Wiki Design. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can easily add advanced search and filter functionality to your website without touching any code. Now, let's be honest, WordPress does not have good functionality when it comes to sorting or filtering any sort of results right out of the box. A lot of our clients lately have been asking for this sort of functionality on their website. Now, instead of recreating the wheel every single time and custom coding this functionality into websites, we found a much better solution. This is where Crocoblock comes into play. They offer tons of great plugins that take Elementor to that next level. So this plugin is called Jet Smart Filters, and they give you a lot of advanced filters so you can easily sort out your post types. So as you can see on this page, they have a lot of cool stuff. So this is basically like creating a mini Amazon with the functionality that you can do when it comes to filtering. So they have a really cool example here. And like I just said, this is very much like an Amazon sort of thing. So you could sort by color, price. You can even add brands in here, ratings. This is a really powerful plugin. And the great thing about this is you don't have to touch any code because up until we started using this plugin, we would custom code a lot of this stuff. And it gets very time consuming and is very complex. So in this example, I'm going to quickly show you how to do something as simple as a filtering drop down here, be able to sort our post down here by a date range, and then how to sort by the title. Before I jump into the tutorial, I want to make sure that you have the required tools. The two plugins that you're going to have to make sure you have is, of course, the Jet Smart Filters plugin. And as you can see right here, it's $24 a year. Or if you plan to ever use a lot of their different tools, a lifetime is a great investment. And the other tool is you got to make sure you have Elementor Pro to pull this off. Okay, so once you have the Jet Smart Filters plugin installed and your Elementor Pro, now you can follow this tutorial. So the first thing you need to do is once you install Jet Smart Filters, you'll see this new menu system over here. I already went ahead and created these two right here. So I already created the filter for the categories and the date range. So let me go into filter categories. You would just click add new. Now before you continue, you want to make sure that under your post or any sort of custom post type, you have your categories already ready to go. So in this example, I just call it filter categories here. You add the same label, filter categories, active filter label, just add that right here. And what you need to do under filter type is use select. So as you can see here, they have a whole range of different types of tools you can use. But in this example, select is basically the same as a drop-down menu. So like this is called a select. So you're just going to want to choose select. And the next thing you need to do is under the data source, choose taxonomies. Now this is where you're going to be able to select your categories. So once you have that selected, you go down to here and you just select categories. So if you have a different type of custom post type or anything like that, you can change it all within here. And then I just keep everything else down here basically the default. You can show empty terms if you want, show only child of current term. I just kept those off in this example. And the placeholder is this text right here. So where it says filter categories, you can have it say anything you want. So choose categories, select categories, whatever it may be. And that's it. And down here, I just wanted to show that you can exclude or include additional categories. So I just wanted to exclude two of these down here just as an example. So you would just click update and that's it. So now the next thing in this example, I wanted to have some sort of date range. So the client will be able to go ahead and just choose a range of dates that will only show those posts. So that's really easy to do. So same thing, you just click add new. And down here I already have it. I just called it date range. Same thing here, filter label, just call it date range, date range. And instead of, in the last example, I chose select, you would click right here where it says date range. And what I do here is you just keep it as post date. So it will filter by when these posts were created. So you can see April, we have October. You want to be able to sort like that. And the period type, I just kept this at default for custom range. And same thing here, where this is the label. So where it says select date, this is what it will say right here. And then I just enabled this, kept these default. I didn't change anything else. And you just hit update. Now, before you add this to your page, you need to make sure that you have all of your different filters added in here first. Now we can jump into the Elementor page and then just easily add that in there. All right, so now I'm on the back end of the website on an Elementor page, and I'll show you how this is laid out first, and I'll start from scratch. So as you can see right here, this is a simple post widget within Elementor, and down here is where you change all of these options to make it all work. And up here are the 3 different filters that I'm going to add. So let me just delete all of these so you can follow along in this tutorial. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is type in post here and just pull in a regular Elementor post widget. We want to have it where it will pull a feed from all of your posts and be able to sort it. So usually what I do in here is kind of style it up first, make sure it looks okay, maybe get rid of the comments. And that's really about it. I'll just keep this very simple in this tutorial. So now we just have a regular post widget in here. Nothing too crazy if you've been working with Elementor for a while. Now what we need to do is, if you scroll down to here, once you have your Jet Smart Filters installed, you're going to see a whole bunch of new widgets that you can pull in here. So you need to just pull in the widgets that you want it to be able to filter. So in this example, I had it where the user can go and select an option. So this is called a select filter. So that select filter I'm adding right here is that filter categories where you can select it and choose the different categories. You just have to do a few changes in the settings and this will be ready to go. So this one was called filter categories. So once you drop that in there, you just do a search for that. So filter categories. And it will only show the things that will actually work with this widget. Now the next thing is this filter is for, and as you can see, if you use other widgets for Elementor, you can choose it in here, or if you're using the other Jet Engine stuff or the JetWoo builder with Crocoblock, this is all going to show in here. But in this example, this was just a simple Elementor Pro post, so you just select that. Now this is an option that you can play around with, so by default it will apply on Ajax. So what that means is when a user selects this and chooses one of these options, it will automatically update on the page without reloading the page. So I'm thinking in most cases that's what is going to give a better user experience. So I would keep it at default Ajax. And where it says apply on, you want to keep it where it's at value change. Because they give you the option if you have multiple categories or anything, you can actually apply a button. So it will only enable once that button is active. But in this example, I just wanted it to show in real time so it gives a better user experience. Okay, so this is one option that you do need to make sure that you plug in correctly for the work. So let me go to copy here. So it says the Jet Smart Filters needs to be inserted into the query ID options of the post widget. So here's our post widget. What you need to do is click on here and go to query, and right here where it says query ID, you need to make sure that you enter in Jet Smart Filters. That is telling it, once you select here, enable this query, it will override this query with the Jet Smart Filters. So let's give it a preview, make sure that it's actually working correctly. So I just click the preview button and let me just select business tips. Okay, that looks like it works. News. All right, so everything is working great so far. And as you can see, it's pulling in all the different categories that we have. So the good thing about this Jet Smart Filters is once you have all the functionality working correctly, you can go ahead and style it just like any other widget you would in Elementor. So in here, you can go select how wide you want the button. So you want to make sure that it doesn't look like that, so the user knows what they are clicking on. So you want to make sure the button's wide enough. And within here, just like any other Elementor widget, you can go ahead and just change the size of the text. Whatever will fit your branding or your website design here. This is where you make all your edits to your buttons, and you can change the background colors. You could do a lot of stuff here. I'm just going to keep this very simple for this tutorial. So the next filter I want to add is that date range. So if you remember when we created this one it's called date range, and that gives the user the ability to select post by date periods. So you can see right here there's a widget under filters called date period filter. So just click, drag that in, and it was called date range. So as you can see, you type in date range, and there it is. So now we can test it within the thing and make sure it works here. So same thing, you just select Elementor Pro Post. So now when you click this, it will interact with this post widget. And you already installed the query ID of Jet Smart Filters on here, so you don't need to do that again, which is really nice. And I'm just keeping everything default, Ajax, and change on the value. Perfect. So I can do another preview on this, so I'll just click the preview button here. And let's go back. These posts are a little bit older, so let me go back to like July 2020, and then you can select like February. So as you can see, everything within that date range of July 1st to what is that? February 6th, 2021 will show in here. Let's do another test where we go a year back. So we're in May 2021 right now. Let's go all the way back to May 2020, all the way to May 2021. And right there, you can see the date range is for the whole year. And you can see it's just pulling in those posts from that date range. Now, if you wanted to show more posts down here, this is where you just need to go ahead into your regular settings. And instead of showing just 6 posts per page, you could do 26 or 30, whatever it may be. And the next step I would recommend is if you do have a lot of posts and you want to use a pagination, you do not use the pagination within the Elementor post. What you have to do is go down to the Jet Smart Filters and use their pagination. Now, the reason for this is because when you use Jet Smart Filters, it overrides a lot of the settings within the default post widget in Elementor. So you need to add the pagination with their pagination filter. Same thing, you just choose it right here where it says Elementor Pro Post, and that's it. You already have the query ID called Jet Smart Filters. Now let's go ahead and test the pagination, make sure that works correctly. So if I scroll down, I should see a bunch of numbers. Yep, there you go. I'll hit page 6, and yeah, that worked good. And you can see it. What I like about their pagination is it does scroll to the top, which is something that a lot of users like to have. And the last widget I want to show you is how you can easily add a sorting filter to your blog post down here. So under the Jet Smart Filters, they have this widget called Sorting Filter. Built in, it gives you a lot of flexibility on sorting by dates or titles and anything along those lines. So let's go ahead in that widget and configure this. And the one thing I do like about this widget also is if you go under where it says select, you can do alignment right. So that will align it to the right. Let's go ahead and center align this one down here. So date picker, let's do it in the middle. So it's really nice that you can easily move these things around. Okay, so let's go back to the sorting. And if you go under content, same thing. You want to make sure you select Elementor Pro Post. That will change this. Ajax, yes, sounds good. Everything else I just keep default. And under sorting list, this is where you're going to change your settings. So you could see right here, they give you a whole bunch of different options. So you can sort random by author, title, date, name, last modified, meta key, which is very powerful. There's a lot of stuff in here you could do. Tons of different options here. Let's go ahead and do it just by title because we already have this date range for a date. So you wouldn't want to sort dates here and here. It'd be too confusing. So this is just a normal sort by ascending title, and then this is descending title. So let's just keep all that by default to keep this example easy to follow. Hit update, and let's do a preview and make sure that that works correctly. So sort title by lowest to highest, and you can change what that says in the settings there as well. So this will be anything that has a number in the title will go first, and then it will start to go into A, B, C, D. So that's perfect. Works good. And lowest, so this will be anything with Y or Z's at the end. This shows up first. Yep, looks like that works. The great thing about this tool is the user can actually use multiple ways to sort their feed here. So let's go ahead and do an example. So let's go down to something like web design. So this will show all of our posts that are tagged web design. And as you can see, we have about 2 pages full here. Let me go all the way back to the beginning of 2020, because some of these posts are a little bit older. So let me go back to January, and then we can go all the way down to, let's do January 2021. So as you can see, that will filter all of the posts just for that year. And now we can also sort by the title name. So if the user had a whole bunch of different results down here, this is going to make it easier for the user to select by title. And that's it for this short tutorial on Jet Smart Filters. As you can see, this plugin has tons of advanced functionality, and I only scratched the surface of using 3 different things to show you how powerful this plugin can really be. If you want to support this channel, I do have an affiliate link for Jet Smart Filters in the description below. And if this video is helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit that bell to receive notifications when I release new videos like this. Thanks, this is Mark from Wiki Design.